Guys, have you noticed the Y2K aesthetic making a huge comeback lately? From social media to fashion and branding, this nostalgic style with its glossy, metallic text and vibrant gradients has literally taken the world. It is bold, futuristic and dripping with early 2000s nostalgia. And today, I show you how to create the trendy Y2K text effect in Photoshop, step by step. By the end of this video, you'll have a stunning Y2K theme design that you can use for t-shirt, keychains, hoodies, or whatever you want. Hi everyone, I'm Zaki. Welcome back to Din Studio. How is it going? I hope you're all doing amazing today. So are you excited to see our Y2K design? Then stick around until the end, because I will share tips to customize this design for your project as well. Let's get started! Before we dive into Photoshop, let's talk about the most important step, design inspiration. Let's hop onto Pinterest to get those creative juices flowing. One of the special characteristics of the Y2K design is the bold font that is geometrical and rounded. Have you ever seen bubble-like text or futuristic bold squares? Well, that is Y2K characteristic. This design brings the nostalgia of the 2000s era. Usually, Y2K text is complete with the shining chrome effect, such as metal, or we can also use a floating effect that can make the text look like it's floating. Furthermore, Y2K design often has some other futuristic elements such as wireframe, bling-bling, or accents like little stars. It strengthens the dreamy and modern vibe in a design. Now, let's talk about the background. Y2K often uses bright color gradients with a hint of glow effect, images, or textures to highlight the futuristic theme. Alright, now for today's tutorial, I've prepared two square shape font with a Y2K vibe, complete with their chrome effects. Okay, now let's go to dinstudio.com. Anyway, the first font is Cyber Auto. This font shape is square with a bit of an extrude effect that looks bold and modern. And for this tutorial, utilizing Cyber Auto will enhance the design with its chrome style. So that's why I choose this font. For another alternative, we chose the second font, Pico. The font has a similar character to the first one. Both are thick and bold, highlighting the uppercase letters. It is perfect to make our design look appealing even for far away. Alright, now it's time for the most awaited part, the tutorial. Let's jump right into it. First thing first, we start by creating a 3000 by 2000 pixel artboard, and we can give it a black background. And then, let's write the text under pleasure using the Cyber Auto font. Now, let's adjust the text position. Make sure that everything is symmetrical and neat, alright? Next, select Bold Text, click Free Transforms, and enlarge the size. After that, convert them into smart objects. This makes editing the effect that we add later more flexible. Now, we need to duplicate the text 3 times using the duplicate layer feature. And then let's hide all of the duplicate layers. We give an effect to text 1. Click twice on the layer to enter layer style mode. First, let's add a color overlay effect and change the color to blue like this. Okay, now add a bevel and emboss effect. Let's leave the structure part as it is. It's time to arrange the shading part. Don't forget to remove the check-in, the use global light, so that we can arrange its layer one by one. Change the angle to -110 and the altitude to 30. Choose close contour like this and check the anti-alias option. For the highlight mode, choose overlay with the opacity of 59, and for the shadow mode, choose overlay with the opacity of 100. Next, add an outer glow effect, adjust the color of the glow with the text, and adjust the blending mode to normal with an opacity of 30. Arrange the technique to be softer with the spread of 0 and the size of 135. Choose a contour like this and adjust the range to 50. After all is finished, click OK. And now, let's activate the layer of text too. Click twice on this layer to add the bevel and emboss effect. However, this time we adjust the depth to 1000, size to 30, and soften to 6. Change the angle to -120 and choose a different close contour. For the highlight mode, let's overlay with the opacity of 100. And for the shadow one, let's overlay with 0 opacity and then click OK. This effect can be seen yet because the weight is still there. So, let's remove it by altering the fill value to 0. Continuing on the texture layer, to see the effect easier, let's decrease the fill value, and then click twice and add the bevel and emboss effect. Just like the previous step, we increase the size to 62, and from the angle, we alter it to 34 and choose a different close contour. For the highlight and the shadow mode, overlay with the opacity of 40 and 25, respectively. Click OK after that. Next, the layer of text 4. Let's decrease the fill value and add a bevel and emboss effect. We adjust the depth to 1000, soften to 0, and size to 27. We won't change the angle, but we adjust the altitude to 32 and choose this close contour. For the highlight and shadow mode, overlay with the opacity of 100 and 0 respectively. Click OK after that. If all the text layers have been given effects, now we can readjust the color. In the color overlay, we need to adjust according to what we want. And for the outer glow, we adjust the color and make it the same as the previous one. Now, let's add a star element for an accent. We will be using Adobe Illustrator to make it easier for customizing the star element. Let's use Star tool to create a star and then arrange the shape to make it fit our Y2K design style. After that, click copy to move it to Photoshop. However, let's not forget to group all the text layers. Alright, now let's paste the star element in the Photoshop and choose the shape layer option. Let's adjust the size accordingly and duplicate the star a few times. Let's select all the stars created and convert them all into smart objects. And then, let's duplicate 3 times using Ctrl-J. We need to add an effect to the first star layer by copying and pasting the layer style from text 1. Let's now adjust the effect. First, let us alter the color overlay to pink. We will utilize the same color for the outer glow. Apply the same method to the second, third, and fourth layer. Before we move on to the next step, let's adjust to the pink of the first star layer so it doesn't stand out too much. Let's change the color overlay and outer glow to make them harmonious with the design. Now, let's create a larger star element in Adobe Illustrator. This will be an additional accent focus in our design. Use the Shear tool to give the star a slant effect. Once done, click Copy to move it to Photoshop. Paste the star into Photoshop. Select the Shape Layer option, then adjust the size of the star to fit the design. Make the star a smart object and duplicate it 3 times. Just like before, copy the layer style from the previous layer to this new one. To highlight the text, add a drop shadow effect in the text. Click twice on the layer, choose Drop Shadow, and then adjust the size, distance, and opacity. Group all the star layers into one. Do the same thing to the big star and then group all the big star layers. Now, make an ellipse using the Shape tool. Duplicate it as another option and adjust the size and its slope for additional elements. Create another ellipse to cut the shape of the first ellipse. This will give a distinct feel in our design. Select Put Ellipse Layers, open the Layers menu, choose Combine Shapes, and then choose Subtract Font Shape to cut it. Make the ellipse a smart object and duplicate it 3 times. Just like before, copy the layer style from the large star to its ellipse. And don't forget to group all those ellipse layers into one. And now, we just need to make a size adjustment. Lastly, we save this design for the finalization process. We can apply this design to the t-shirt mockup to make it appear more realistic. Group all of the layers and duplicate them in the mockup's placeholder. Now, we just need to make a size modification and save. If you find the size too large, simply adjust the placeholder and save it again. After that, export the design for the final result. Here's the final result. Look how the Y2K text effect works beautifully on different mockups. Perfect for merch like t-shirts, hoodies, or even keychains. It is bold, nostalgic, and definitely a head-turner. This design captures the essence of the early 2000s. Vibrant, futuristic, and fun. A perfect throwback to the Y2K era, isn't it? Anyway, please let me know in the comment if you love this tutorial. And don't hesitate to tell us what design you'd like to see next. We always welcome critique and suggestion. Lastly, don't forget to check out our other tutorials like how to create a retro logo or a dreamy wedding invitation. And as always, subscribe to Dean Studio for more creative tips and tricks. See you in the next video. Bye!